I really like reviewing e-bikes because they offer us the opportunity to go places without necessarily having to take our entire car, and they actually get us in a pretty fast way. Specifically, the one that we're talking about today, the UrbanGlide Pro from Vanpowers, is one of the most versatile e-bikes that you can get. It's very nicely ergonomically designed, but it also provides you protection from elements with the splash guards as well as the ability of carrying cargo in the back. This is TK and this is my review of the UrbanGlide Pro from Vanpowers. Let's check it out. Like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos on the channel. And of course, we're going to start off by talking about the unboxing experience here. Now, this one is a typical unboxing as some of the other bikes that we've seen on the channel. They typically will have everything assembled with the exception of having the handlebars as well as the front tire mounted on the frame. Everything that you need in there is actually included, from the tools as well as the manuals, the charging, obviously the charging brick, and all the things that you need to be able to put the bike together and get it going. I think that's the biggest thing here. They don't really skimp on anything, and they make sure you have everything you need. The last thing I will say is you do need to download an application, because this actually also supports applications functionalities to be able to update the firmware on it, to make sure that you're getting tracking, when you go outside. So a lot of really cool things going on. But from an assembly standpoint, it took me about 10 minutes or so. I am getting better at putting these things together. For the most part, you just have to basically mount the front tire and the handlebars, and you're pretty much set. Download the application and charge up your bike, and of course, make sure you're running the latest firmware. As far as the configuration, there's three different versions of this bike. There's the Standard, the Pro, and the Ultra. The one that I have is actually right in between those two. This is the Pro Edition, available in three different colors: green, red, as well as gray. And the one that I have is the gray one. And I think the design that we have here is definitely carried over depending on the model that you pick up. It's just going to be a slightly different configuration depending on the Standard, the Pro, or the Ultra. The Pro one definitely provides us some of the best options at a very good price point. Now, there's two different sizes. There's a small size and a large size. Both of them are stepped through, of course, both of them supporting the app. The ride is pretty smooth, handles bumps pretty well, as well as flat surfaces. So depending on where you're going, this is definitely going to be a very versatile type of a bike. It does weigh about 70 pounds, so it's not going to be the lightest bike on the market, but if you need to take it up the stairs, shouldn't be an issue, or probably if you stand it up in an elevator going up to an apartment. We have a 500-watt brushless hub motor here that's powerful enough to give us basically the ability of going up and down, inclines and declines. One of the biggest things obviously here is it's rated to go up to 65 to 70 miles with about pedal assist experience, and it is going to be at a maximum of 20 miles an hour. It's going to be both in pedal assist or in standard. Although with pedal assist mode, if you put it in the right gear, you're able to actually push it beyond the 20 miles, and that's going to be mostly because you're helping and assistance coming in from the motor itself. We have a 690 watt-hour battery. It's an LG cell-based battery. And of course, the pedal assist and the throttle are going to be giving you slightly different experiences. The pedal assist works on a level 1 through 5 throttle. As long as you're in a gear 1, it's going to take you all the way up to 20. And of course, if you have it in neutral, everything kind of stops and just runs like a regular bike. So I'm pretty sure you guys want to see all of the things that we're able to do with this bike. So let's go ahead and go outside and check it out. So the e-bike itself is very nice and very comfortable. There is a 5 levels of pedal assist that's available in here. And of course, we have acceleration boost that's available for us. We also have a micro shift, the ability to also dial it in if you want to just use it as a regular bike, or you want to be able to get that exercise while getting some of that pedal assist. I will say though, when you're stopping or when you're not using the bike, make sure you bring it down to neutral. This one actually has an N under the number 1 pedal assist level, and that will actually stop what we have here. So let's go ahead and turn on the camera. I'm going to turn on the front, the chest camera as well, so that we can actually get a little bit more of an experience. So what you're seeing here is the display. I have a mount for my phone, and obviously I'm talking to you guys right there. We bring down the actual gear shift down to N, and that brings it down to where I can actually hit the little bit of acceleration. Nothing happens. If I shift it over to 1 and I touch that, it's going to accelerate all the way up to 20 miles an hour. That's the maximum speed available on what we have here. So the biggest thing I'll probably say is if you want to just use acceleration, put it in 1 for pedal assist and just use the boost. As you notice right there, it moved us, and then it will basically take you all the way to the maximum, I guess, depending on how much power you have on the battery and of course the weight of the rider and the cargo in the back, you'll basically get up to 20 miles an hour. That's the maximum speed that we can get here. If we start wanting to do pedal assist like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, so we're going to go ahead and do that quick test right now. I'm going to show you guys how does it actually work with pedal assist 1, going to 2, all the way up to 5, and then of course we're going to decelerate and using the brakes. We have obviously front and rear brakes, as well as splash guards on both the front and the back tire, which makes it very nice in case you do go over some of those pedals. So we're going to start off with the acceleration, just the boost. So I have it right now in shift 1. Again, if I do put it in the shift neutral, the acceleration, as you can see from the front facing camera here, it doesn't do anything. That's pretty much the point of it. Essentially, I can ride the bike like a regular bike, and in case the battery ever dies, you are able to ride this as a regular bike. Shift it into gear and ride it like a regular bike that you've used in the past. So we'll go ahead and shift it over to 1. Now this is going to give me the ability of accelerating. We're going to go from 0 all the way up to the 20 miles an hour, and then of course we're going to decelerate to show the experience of basically how long or the range for us to be able to do so. So we'll go ahead and start, make sure we're clear, and let's go. Okay, now we're at 20 miles an hour. We're going to decelerate. Wow, okay, let's go ahead and go a little bit into the sun. As you saw there, the brakes are absolutely fantastic. You can actually stop almost on a dime, but I'd probably say this was the shortest. Going all the way up to 20 and decelerating back down to 0 was actually pretty simple. Now we're going to do the other test, which is the pedal assist. So I'm going to start it off with 1, it's what I have it. I'm going to keep pedaling, and as I accelerate, I'll keep showing you guys the indication of which level I'm at. And once we hit that 20 miles an hour, we'll of course do the deceleration factor. Same thing. Okay, we're clear. So we're starting off with pedal assist 1. Now it's showing me about 15 miles an hour, but I think that's mostly because I'm also pedaling, so go ahead and level 2. You feel it a little bit. We're about 17 miles an hour. Level 3. Pedal assist on level 3, I'm up to 19 miles. I'm hoping you guys can hear me. We're going to go to level 4. Level 5. Okay, now we're going to do a deceleration test. Now, as you saw there with the videos, it works really nice, and it definitely is adaptable, and it is flexible to work on both flat surface, asphalt, or even sand, just going a little bit off-road. It's not going to have any problems. The biggest thing I'll probably say is just figuring out which mode is the best way for you. The throttle mode is pretty much just put it on gear 1 and go all the way up to 20 miles an hour. There is no limiter between 1, 2, 3, or 4, and 5. It really doesn't need any difference. Just put it in 1. If you put it in neutral, obviously it does nothing. The biggest thing I'll probably also say is that if you go with pedal assist, depending on the gear that you're in, you may be able to even push it beyond the 20 miles an hour limit, and that's because you're assisting with the motor itself. So you're definitely getting that exercise plus getting a little bit of an assistance, so you're not putting too much strain on your knees. So at the end of the day, it literally ends up being what you decide to do with this bike. I will say overall, it is technically on the somewhat of the heavier side of a bike because it's definitely a solid frame, everything that you're getting there. So just be aware if in case you want to have to lift this up, you're going up the stairs or you're trying to put it in an area where you need to lift it up. So just be aware of that weight. I really like the configuration that we have here, though. We're able to pick up things on the back, and we of course have the cover for both the front and rear tire with the splash, the light on the front as well as on the back. So you're not really missing out on the feature. There is a bell there. It's definitely one of those ring bells in there. And of course, overall, the configuration is everything mirrored on the app. So you can see what's going on with the bike. And of course, make sure you run the latest firmware on the bike whenever it's needed. What I would probably recommend doing is start the process, start the actual firmware update. I did receive 2 of those. And put the phone next to your bike and probably walk away for about 5 to 10 minutes. It does take a little bit of time because it's transferring the data over Bluetooth to the bike. So that's one thing. It's not using Wi-Fi. It is absolutely Bluetooth enabled. And once you configure it, it pretty much runs even if you transfer the app from one device to the other. It'll find the bike, connect to it, and give you all this information that you need from it. Charging, again, very simple. Just put it in overnight. You're not going to be disappointed. Overall, I think it's very nice. And the battery does separate in case you do need to do that. Just so you want to charge it inside. It's not going to be a hard thing. Just take the battery off the bike, take it inside, plug it in and charge it, or probably the best way to do it is just to charge it directly on the bike. I do recommend you wearing a helmet at all times, even though this is only at 20 miles an hour, maximum speed. So just be safe in case, God forbid, something happens, or in case some of the situation like I was going in, depending on where you are, some of the trees were so low that I've had it hit the top of my helmet as I'm going under them because I didn't realize, and I was focusing more on looking at the camera as I was recording. So thank you very much to Vanpowers for letting me check out the UrbanGlide Pro. And again, there's the Standard and the Ultra in case you are interested in that. There'll be links in the description for everything that we're talking about today. And of course, to be able to get one of your own. Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support. And of course, I'll see you in the next video.